so we're finally doing it. We're getting started on the interior restoration for the GSR. Oh, me. Can I drive this? I have to drive this. This is so disgusting, so bad.
Couldn't pay me to sit in this one, man.
I think we have to blur it out. Can we even put this on the internet? This is so bad. Oh my God. I mean, it comes off, which is good, but this is crazy. All right, so I'm just gonna wipe this down. And luckily you're doing full interior restoration, so it will be a lot better. We're en route to the detailing shop. I got the mask on, I got the gloves on. It's all good. Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. Now today, I'm actually at Mr. Detail's Auto Salon here in the heart of Seattle, Washington. And what we're gonna be doing today is actually doing the restoration series on the 2000 Acura Integra GSR. And if you guys haven't seen the previous video on this car, I'd really recommend checking it out, and I'll make sure to leave a link above. So for those that are seeing this for the first time, this was actually auctioned off on Cars and Bids not too long ago, but then it was stolen, and then we recently acquired it from the Van Nuys location at Copart. And before we get into the video, I'm super happy to announce that I've officially partnered up with Copart, and I'm here to provide you guys with an exclusive discount. All you gotta do is click the link in my description, and then you should be able to sign up for a Copart membership with a 20% discount. And I think what I find most gravitating about these auction cars, just like the Acura Integra GSR, is it's the fact that you're almost giving these a second chance and being able to see the potential in them. And I feel like Copart has been the perfect environment for me to not just find auction cars for you guys, but to be able to provide you guys with content and being able to tell you guys the stories of bringing these cars back together. And with their multiple locations across the country, Copart has become the ultimate destination for discovering auction cars. And all you gotta do to get started is upload your legally required documents, and you're on your way to unlocking a world of automotive possibilities. Once approved, you can dive into Copart's extensive inventory and discover the perfect vehicle to fuel your passion. And bidding is a breeze with Copart. Whether you're pre-bidding or participating in live auctions, finding your dream car has never been easier. And with the buy it now option, you can snag your dream ride at a great price without having to wait around all day at the auction. You can choose from several convenient payment options, including MoneyGram, wire transfer, credit and debit cards, and ePay. Plus, Copart partners with third-party tow providers to ensure seamless transportation. So with that being said, I want to give a huge thanks again to Copart for sponsoring today's video and also giving us the opportunity to provide you guys with content just like this one. Now, in the whole grand scheme of things, we had a huge plan where we were gonna do a restoration on this earlier on, but then somebody broke into it again. So now after all this that has happened, I had to put this in a location where it was safe, but what happened is moisture slowly started getting into the car, is what you saw in the previous clip. So James and I, we had to work to make sure that we could actually drive this thing here today because it was in such a bad state. It's never good to be sitting in a moldy car, let alone driving one here. So I had the gloves on, I had the mask, I used all-purpose degreaser, and we just quickly wiped it down. And of course it was pouring rain this day. It was just a whole adventure just to get this thing here. But luckily we got it here, and the plan is for us to focus on the interior restoration with this car and really give it the justice that it deserves, because it's a black on black GSR. Finding one of these that's almost fully original is practically impossible. And this is something that's near and dear to me. As you guys know, we also have the 97 Civic, and I'm really glad that you guys have been enjoying the Honda content so far. So I'm hoping to be able to do this car some justice before we take it to get some body work. We're gonna hold off on worrying about the crusties on the outside. I mean, as you can see, the hood barely closes and there's all kinds of pine needles and stuff, but really what's fascinating is on the inside. I would not advise sitting in this car, but I do this for you guys. So we'll take a seat real quick before we get started with cleaning this thing. In terms of the seats, for example, I think the degreaser actually dried out the seats. So what we're gonna do is I'm actually gonna take these out physically. We'll put them outside, and we're gonna do a deep detail, making sure to get through the cracks and crevices using leather conditioner to try and bring the luster back to these, and also get rid of all the garbage that's in here, because there's some very questionable things that are in the back seat that are 100% not mine. We're gonna have to do that. I also wanna focus on the dash. I think that we got our work cut out for us. I don't think that we're gonna cover all of this in just one video, but this will be a really fun series for us to at least dive in and see what we can get in terms of results as a before and after. Now, we got the passenger seat out. And luckily these are super easy in terms of the bolts. Sometimes these get rusted out, they break. If you break one of these, it is not fun. So we're just gonna have to speed run this a little bit. Of course, I forgot my little Milwaukee electric ratchet. It was one of my favorite tools, but I think I was just so distracted by the fact that this car is a complete biohazard again. So you guys will have to comment down below. Let me know if you guys like the biohazard stuff, or are you guys sick of it? Because frankly, I'm getting a little tired of it myself. But we're gonna slide this forward, get these bolts out, and this will give us a lot more room to play around with. And luckily I haven't found any narcotics or anything, so usually with these Hondas it's pretty easy to take them out. There might be a plug for the driver's seat, I think, for maybe the seatbelt switch if it's like the Civic, but maybe it's not, and I could be completely wrong. If it was a BMW, it'd probably be here for another 5 years just to take the seats out. I'm really excited to see the final result with this car. It's just, I don't know what it is. I guess it commands a certain amount of attention, so it's just kind of nerve-wracking owning it, to be honest. I mean, in the short span of time we had it, it also got broken into. Just a shame, really. But I'm almost there. Whoa. Okay, so we got the seats out, and as you can see, they're not in the best state. All kinds of stuff accumulating on the top. As you can see, I didn't do a great job of removing all the mold, which is still there. Unfortunately, the leather is cracking pretty bad. I'm gonna try our best just to condition this, because that's what happens when this dries out. Doesn't look as great. And the stitching, unfortunately, has popped out here on the middle portion of the bottom cushion. So one way you could go about this is you could take the bottom cushion, take this out, re-sew this, call it good. That'll probably have to be something for another day. But passenger seat's a little bit better. But I am very curious now about the back seats, because I didn't spend too much time there, so maybe we can take a gander, see what we're working with. And we'll spend some time here taking all this trash out. But my God, look at this. Oh, wow, actually, well, not great, but could be a lot worse. All of this miscellaneous trim pieces, the cargo cover in the back. I still have the cat. Maybe we should take this out of here, because I don't think we'll need this for anything unless somebody out there wants this. I'll ship it over to for you for free. I see the back seats, I think, are, oh my God.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh my God.
That smell is. Oh no.
Yeah, that's horrifying. Okay, well, we'll pretend like we didn't see that. We want to salvage this. That's pretty good. What is that worth, like 50 bucks? And then we got the premium eBay DC2 floor mats. I don't know if we keep these or throw these away. Oh my God, look at this. Huh. Here, you want some?
No. You gone.
Okay, so now that I pull this back, one thing that I do notice is this dried out pretty nicely, but it's a little bit warped. So I think we'll take this out. Spare looks pretty good, but it's wet. So we're gonna have to take that out. See all this water collecting right here at the bottom? We'll have to extract that, and that will help a lot. But it's more tracing where the water is coming from. And I think that's gonna be the biggest thing. And now we can fold these down fully. So honestly, it's not bad. Could be a lot worse. So we're gonna try and lift up as much of the dirt as possible. And I wouldn't advise this if you're in an environment where you wanna stay clean. Just trying to lift up as much of the dirt as possible, and I'm getting blasted in the face with dust. This is horrible. Or wish this upon anybody that ever needs to do this. And I feel really bad Harrison has to film this too, because there's so much dust. And we'll vacuum all this up here in a sec. But look at all the stuff that's coming up. So now what we're working on is the back seats. I actually just did this side because it was just covered in mold. This one's not too bad, but I thought I'd at least give you guys a quick demonstration if you ever wanted to do this in your own situation. So this is a diluted version of a very highly concentrated, almost like all-purpose cleaner that's safe on stuff like leather. And what I'm gonna do here is just use our detailing brush, spray this down with a whole bunch of this cleaner, and I'm gonna agitate it in circular motions, just like so, just to be able to lift up as much dirt as possible to wipe this down. But with this, there's a whole bunch of stuffs in the cracks and crevices. So I'll show you guys what we'll do here in a second. But I'm really just trying to get full coverage of this. And I think this will be the strategy for most of this interior for today, is just getting the mass stuff off of here so that we can feel really comfortable and safe sitting in this thing. And what's nice too, it smells pretty lovely. It's like it's almost got like a fruity smell to it. So it kind of makes for a less chemically based experience for you. So you don't feel like you're puffing in fumes the whole time, but I would really recommend keeping a mask on. I mean, if I had a full respirator, I'd probably be wearing that right now, just with the current state of what this car currently was. So I'm just getting the plastics, just agitating it, getting it all fluffed up a little bit here. And then now going back and attacking the seat. Usually you want to, you know, spray it onto the brush, but as you can see, I like to go at my own pace. Okay, so we'll circulate this like so. And then now we'll get it to a place where we can start the process of being able to get all this nasty goodness off. With a quick wipe down with a microfiber towel. This is pretty typical procedural stuff right here, but as you can see, it already lifted a lot of this nasty biohazard like stuff off of the seats. So I'm just gonna give these a quick wipe down. Don't have to go too crazy here, because what we're gonna do now is focus on the cracks and crevices. And this will work if you have an air compressor handy close by. So what we're gonna use is we're gonna use this precision attachment that goes onto the air compressor. Usually I use this for like spraying off cars and stuff like that. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually use this towel as a protectant for myself so I don't get sprayed in the face with this. And essentially what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go right through the crevices with this layered on top, and it will essentially shoot out all that nasty dirt and stuff that's on top so that we can easily be able to lift this up. So let's give it a shot. Now all these little particles and stuff, we were able to easily lift out of the cracks and crevices, and it really makes a difference on the final product. So call it tastefully clapped or whatever you would like, but not too bad. We're making really good progress. I mean, dude, it looks pretty good. We just have to keep wiping this stuff down, keep attacking it, really making sure that we agitate as much dirt as possible so we can continue to do as much as we can to get this poor Acura back on the road. So now we got the seats out of the car. I wanted to show you guys real quick how we were able to get it like this in the current state that it's currently in right now. So this is completely untouched, and this is us after cleaning and conditioning these, so it's been sitting for a little bit. But now what I'm gonna do is show you guys the process step by step of how I'm actually capturing this. And it's actually very similar to what we just did with the rear seats, but it's so nice that we have this out of the car, and it makes it so much easier for us to be able to attack this. So it's gonna be the same process again, just going in here and being able to agitate as much as we can. Circular motions on the bigger patches just to get as much coverage as possible. Typically you wanna just spray it on the brush, but since this is a pretty like worst case scenario situation, I'm actually gonna probably spray a little bit onto the seat as well, getting all the cracks and crevices out of here in these poor GSR seats. And I know that this one is in a little bit better condition, but I think just being able to moisturize the leather is really gonna make a tremendous difference, because you have to remember that this is technically like skin. And after using something like a heavy degreaser, it dries it up. And you wanna be able to make sure that as soon as possible, you can get some moisture on there to be able to condition and extend the longevity of this. And I mean, you can see it happening in real time. It's lifting up all this stuff. All of these little motions here, we're able to capture all this back to what it originally once was. High wear areas are always gonna be here on the bolsters on the driver's seat, and this is where typically the seat belt goes across. So this is a very common high wear area. It's almost practically impossible for these old GSR leather seats to survive the test of time, unless it was like really a garage clean. But as we know, this was a really nice example at one point, but it also wasn't 100% perfect. So once we have all this taken out, it will be a matter of getting the cracks and crevices, but most importantly, what we're gonna be using on top of this is this leather conditioner, which is like a leather treatment. So what we're actually gonna do is we're gonna use a pretty generous amount of this stuff and just let it sit for a while, just like we did on the passenger seat. All you really need is just like a microfiber applicator pad of some sort. lather it on there, and just leave it for the test of time. So I think we'll cut here to the time lapse and we'll just get to work and see what kind of results we can get. Oh my God. Try not to lean back and fall. This would be pretty fun to drive. Okay, anyways, we're doing the dash now. So this was, of course, covered in mold, all kinds of weird porous stuff going on. So now we're gonna start tackling this. Again, it's just a matter of evacuating as much of the dirt and dust that was on here. And then we can really focus in on using some sort of trim restoration. Now, there's so many different ways you can go about this. You can go through dyes, you can use your conventional, just like Armor All. But I think for this case, since we wanna do it some form of justice, I do wanna make sure that we use a product that is really not just gonna clean all this off, but really bring back that luster and light that you get in a black interior. And that goes for the center console too. We blasted all this dust and dirt and grime off, and now it's just a matter of getting in the cracks and the crevices, really cleaning this up and make it look really nice so that when we put the seats back in, it's gonna look really awesome. So I am gonna use that cleaner, the agitating spray stuff, just brush everything down just to loosen up the dirt in all the areas. But honestly, this doesn't look too bad. We also did the rear seats in terms of the leather conditioner. So these are all lotioned up, moisturized. We're gonna let those cure for a little bit here, and they almost look like super glossy. Like I don't know if I would feel comfortable sitting in these right now, but it gives you an idea of just the progress that we're making in a pretty short span of time. So I think we got our work cut out for us. So let's get to it. So we just finished the inside of the interior. I'm very excited to show you guys what it currently looks like. As you can see on the outside, we haven't touched it yet. We'll have to save that for another day. There's a lot of other stuff that we have to do, but I will say in terms of progress, I mean, dude, it looks incredible for what it is. I'll probably go through and comb through it a little bit more, but in the meantime, as what it was once before to this, I would argue that this is pretty much as good as it gets for a car of this vintage. I know that, of course, there's gonna be little bits of dirt here and there. It's not like I'm trying to be a detailing expert or anything, but I'm really just trying to use this as a way to show you guys that it actually doesn't take that much effort to be able to bring back something, even in this condition that was just a complete disaster. What I'm actually gonna do is put an ozone machine in here. It's almost like a dehumidifier of some sense, just to kind of aerate this, because you guys can't smell it right now, but it does smell pretty funky. So I'm gonna crack the sunroof, I'm gonna crack the windows, maybe even prop up the hatch a little bit just to get some air circulating in here. And hopefully that will do wonders in terms of us being able to treat this. And I think even something like some enzymes that we could spray in here too, that's what we actually did with the Biohazard Civic. And if you guys didn't see that, I'll make sure to leave a link above. That actually did a tremendous job in just being able to neutralize everything, because what you don't want to happen is go through all this work and effort, and then you park the car and you come back and all the bacteria and growth has just started to happen again. So I think we did a really good job of just getting rid of what was here. But in the meantime, this is definitely not the end. But given that, we've made a lot of really good progress. I mean, even the seats came out so wonderful. It's not super perfect. And I was even talking with Chris over here, Mr. Detail, and he was saying that we could possibly have some sort of reference for somebody that can come mobily to stitch this up and maybe do a little patch job here in the corner to make sure that the whole interior is really in its original state. No quick release steering wheels, no goofy mods or anything like that with this one. I think really trying to fully preserve it as much as possible is gonna be the way to go. One thing is too, as you can see, that this is all exposed. I need to put back the cover because the thieves, unfortunately, they pretty much ruined it. And I have the screws also for the ignition key lock cylinder to be able to seat that correctly. But overall, super happy with the way this is turning out. I'll show you guys too with the exterior a little bit. You know, in terms of what we'd like to do next, stuff on the trim, the outside, all of this is pretty crusty, and I would love to be able to bring back some of the black on this trim, for example, and just little things here. I don't know what to do about these little gaps that are happening here with this trim that's bowing out. So maybe we'll just have to replace it over time. But it's really all in just the details. And I just feel really grateful to just have a GSR that's at least in one piece. So when you look at it, I'm sure on camera it's gonna look okay. But for it to be something that you could really feel proud of just jumping in it and driving it every day, this is gonna be the one to do. But We'll have to wait also for next time to make sure that we christen this with the Tastefully Clapped sticker. But since I think we cleaned it up pretty well today, we'll hold off on that for now. But I do want to give another huge shout out and thank you to Copart for sponsoring today's video. And I'll make sure to link everything down below if you want to go check that out. But I think with that being said, stay tuned for the next episode. Really appreciate you guys. And yeah, well, we'll get back to it. So take care.